Losing a loved one is never easy. And on to compound that and to add on to that sadness is the stress of trying to figure out what to do next. What do we do with all the things that they've owned? How do we settle their estate? Where do we even begin? This is particularly overwhelming if you've never done it before. So here's some easy, quick tips and steps that you can take most immediately. Number one, order death certificates as soon as possible. Generally, they take 2 to 3 weeks, but sometimes there can be holdups. So the earlier you get started with requesting them, the better. So I would request about 8 to 10 so that you have as many as you need straight away so you don't have to order them again in the future. Second, contact agencies about your loved one's passing. State agencies, government agencies. Make sure Social Security has been notified. Generally, this happens through the mortuary, but you're going to want to ensure that happened. If your loved one was a veteran receiving veteran benefits, make sure the VA is contacted so they can stop any future payments, because any payments that received after death will need to be sent back to the VA or sent back to Social Security agency. So you're going to want to make sure that those agencies are contacted. The Department of Health Services, California, the Medi-Cal office, making sure that they've been notified, even in the event if your loved one wasn't receiving Medi-Cal. So these are just a few of the different agencies that need to be contacted. Start going through and collecting information about your loved one's assets, accounts that they own, policies that they had. Maybe you know who their financial advisor was. You can have conversations with them, look around their house, monitor their mail closely, because they might still have been getting some paper statements in the mail. You know, that's a little bit less frequent these days as we've gone more paperless, but if you have access to monitor through their mail or you have access to their email, those are places that you can look to get information about what assets they had, or you're just simply looking around the house for financial information regarding your loved one. Secure property, like a house, making sure that no one that's not supposed to be there can access. Recommend even putting up cameras. So if you're not able to watch it on a daily basis, you don't live close by, you at least have some cameras, security system that's set up so it's not open for people to try to break in. They might know that the person no longer is living there, or you don't have to deal with squatter issues, just general protection of the property. Same with vehicles as well. Look at what bills that are owed, things that you might still need to pay. Obviously, we have some outlay with memorial services, funeral costs, but ongoing things like mortgages to property tax to utility bills, ensuring that those aren't lapsing or going into overdue status that might create some sort of liability. When it comes to credit card statements and bills, just a little tip: don't pay off anything in full with the credit card company. Notify them about the passing of your loved one, the account holder, but then you'll be working with their estate department, and oftentimes you can negotiate a settlement for lower than the actual balance due. So don't miss an opportunity there. The last thing when it comes to notifying people and agencies, and when it comes to credit cards, contact the credit card reporting agencies, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. You want to let them know that your loved one's passed away so that they can freeze their credit so they're not exposed to any sort of fraud, because fraud can still happen on somebody's credit, whether they're alive or not. And just like any fraud on your credit while you're alive, that could be a big liability and doesn't go away just because the person has passed away. So you can have a situation where someone has stolen your loved one's identity and racked up a lot of purchases and bills, or maybe has gone out and bought a property in another state and there's a mortgage there, and now that's tied to your loved one's estate. You're going to have to deal with that. There's going to be a bigger headache. So to avoid those potential situations, particularly in today's day and age when we have a lot of identity theft, contact the credit bureaus. It's easy to do online. If you connect with one of them, they're supposed to also connect with the other two, and you'll get something in the mail that confirms that they've received all the information, they've been notified. But I'd contact all three all the same, so you can ensure that the credit's been frozen as fast as possible. Lastly, use professionals. Contact professionals who have gone through an administration of an estate. It's no matter how simple or basic you think that your loved one's estate is, they didn't have much, they had a will, a trust, or a setup is pretty straightforward. It's harder than you might think, and you don't want to create more problems by doing things that you think are right and you have the best intentions, but you don't know what you don't know, and now you've missed an opportunity, you've missed a deadline or missed a requirement that the law has that's not in legal paperwork. Then you don't want to create a bigger problem. So the people you're going to need to utilize are a CPA or an accountant, an attorney that who deals with probate or trust administration, and a financial advisor, potentially a real estate agent, or someone that is in estate sales. So those people are definitely going to be vital and important, particularly the attorney and the accountant, in helping you maneuver closing out an estate in the best way that's not going to create any problems for the estate or for you, and is going to minimize any damage on the tax end. So encourage you to go out and talk to those individuals as soon as possible in the process. I can't tell you how vital and important that is. Worked with a few families over the years that had waited months, on a couple occasions years, before they reached out to a professional to help. And there was a lot more work, a lot more cost, and a lot more problems when it came to undoing some of the mistakes and oversights that happened over the course of that time when they weren't working with a professional. So start earlier on in the process. And lastly, of course, kind of inferred in all that you're identifying and locating legal documents. Really important to get a hold of those as soon as possible. Find out if your loved one had a will, had a trust, and you might have to reach out to their financial advisor, their accountant if they had one, look in their house. Maybe you already have a copy, but try to get your eyes on those legal documents and preserve them, particularly the originals, as fast as possible, because there are rules that need to be followed in California as far as what happens to those documents that you want to make sure that you're following. And of course, they're going to give the roadmap and instructions too of what it is that you're supposed to do and who's supposed to be in charge. So get the right number of death certificates right away. Contact the professionals, at least an accountant, the estate planning attorney that practices in probate or trust administration, to assist you from early on in the process. Identify, find out where the wills, the trust, legal documents are. Get a handle on the assets. Start taking an inventory as early as possible. Secure those assets, protect them, and get an idea of what the liabilities are that your loved one has. And start paying bills where you can, except with the exception of the credit card companies. Like I said, talk to the estate departments there to negotiate some settlements. And lastly, contact the credit reporting agencies. Hopefully that was helpful for you. My name is Kevin Snyder. I'm an estate planning and elder law attorney. We also assist families going through estate administrations and specific trust administrations. So if you have a loved one that's passed away that had a trust, then we're able to help walk with you through that process and guide you and advise you to make sure that all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and it's done correctly. So hopefully, again, that this was helpful for you. If you want to know more information about administering an estate, please check out our YouTube channel or give our office a call and schedule a consultation. In the meantime, I hope you're well and keep being amazing.